Hello guys, I hope you're well. So today we're talking about life, and I wanted to discuss the question at hand. Is life inherently unfair? So through a lot of discussions with other people and just living in real life, a lot of people generally say, oh, life is so unfair, or why is life like this? Now, to analyze the statement, is life inherently unfair? No. Now, and I'll explain to you why. The system we live in, the infrastructure we live in, or the protocol we're bound by, which would encompass the laws and jurisdiction and other sort of rules we have, may be unfair to a certain extent. You could always argue that people that have wealth have access to good lawyers, and the good lawyers can get them out of any sort of legal trouble. However, someone that belongs to a lower socioeconomic classification cannot afford that. So you could probably claim that that's unfair. Now, the key to understand is, because the way life is, or the natural laws are, so for example, we will all grow old one day, for example. That's a very, very important point. So no matter what wealth you have, no matter what car you own, no matter how many properties you have, or no matter what job or status you have, we will all die one day. And that is what makes life equal, I guess. So the fact that we will all die one day makes it equal, the fact that no matter how much money you have, that cannot save you from death. So is life inherently unfair? Maybe, depending on the context and depending on what you mean by life. But if you mean by life as in nature, it's actually very fair, because we all age, and no matter the status you have, we all will age and we all will pass away, which I think is the beauty of life, I guess. The beauty of life is extremely humbling. And I think that's the beauty of it. We will all be humbled by life one day. I'll be in my grave one day, and we all will be. And I think that is something to ponder upon when we talk about or discuss, is life fair or unfair? So we kind of answer that question. Is it fair or unfair? It depends on the context of what you're referring to. Now, another point is, a lot of times, a lot of human misery or misery that we experience doesn't come from the system, or does not come from nature itself. It comes from those around us, the humans around us, the humans we interact, the humans we share our experiences with, the humans we thought we could trust. So this is something that we need to talk about as well. A lot of human misery, a lot of times when we talk about human misery, the discussion from a philosophy or from a theological academic standpoint is always pointed towards God. If God was fair, if God was adil in Arabic means fair or equal, or cares about equality, why would there be so much pain? Why would there be so much disease? Why would there be so much misery? Why would there be so much sadness? Well, the simple theological response, or the simple response that any individual that follows the Abrahamic religion would be that life is a big test. Now, if you think about it logically, without these unfortunate events in our lives, life would be very different. And all of us will experience a loss, whether it's someone close to us, whether it's a friend. And some of us may have already experienced that. A close friend that has passed away recently, or a family member, and it hurts. We are humans, we are entities that are very emotional. It hurts, to lose someone, a loved one. If anyone has lost a loved one, you will know that it feels surreal. It doesn't feel like it actually happened, and it feels like the person is still alive. But the human state is very, very interesting. Also, there's another side of thought that believes that without these losses, without these sort of miseries, would life be as interesting? And what I mean by interesting is, would it be sort of worth working for something, or working towards something? If we all had these lives where, we were all wealthy, or we all looked 10 out of 10, or we all were smart, would life be this interesting life? So people argue that with all the losses, all the misery, that's what makes life a challenge. and that's what makes life a test. And I think that's a crucial point to understand when we talk about life or the philosophy of life. That's also a very, very important point. Thank you so much, guys.